Welcome to Drafting Place, the show where we draft some things. And this time around, we are getting prepared for not only the big game coming up on Sunday, but also Valentine's Day, the day after. So as you can see below, we are going to be drafting the best Disney couple. So first, let's do some. Not that anybody watching doesn't know who we are at this point, but quick introductions. I am Mack. Yeah, here we go, Doobie.
And can I ask, as a part of these introductions, say how many years we've been married? So Mac,
Yeah, just past 5 years.
Doobie, 25 years this year.
We got Mike down here.
3 years and 5 months, I think.
And then we've got Kyle. Sorry, I forgot I was doing the introductions for a second.
8 years and 4 months.
Oh, so we're all veterans here, man. We know how this works.
We are all very qualified to pick the best Disney couples, clearly. So before we get into our actual draft, I want to go over some rules here. It's going to be 4 rounds, so 16 picks total. It's going to be a snake draft, so whoever picks first in the first round will pick fourth in the second round, and so forth. It'll keep switching back and forth. We are drafting romantic couples only, so not, no partners or anything like that. And then we are drafting fictional characters, which I know, Doobie, that kind of put a damper on your list a little bit. But Disney fictional characters from anywhere under the Disney umbrella, too. It doesn't have to just be strictly Disney. So lots of different options here on the board. Kyle, are you ready to go with our handy app that helps us decide our order?
I am. So we'll start with Doobie. His number is 7, and then Mike C 9, Mac also 9, and then me a 4. So I'm going last for sure, and then we'll reroll for Mike. Hopefully I don't get an add in between 6 and Mike's 9. So it will go Doobie, Mac, Mike, me.
Okay. Oh, so we're in order here.
Well, we'll see what happens when it goes, but I'll range it again if it is wrong.
Okay. All right. So Doobie is on the clock, and then
again,
it's Snake.
You get to go first.
Snake order here, so it'll be Doobie, me, Mike, Kyle, and then second round will be Kyle, Mike, me, Doobie, and then reverse again. So Doobie, did you think you would have the first pick here? Are you ready for this?
I mean, I'm ready for it. I never thought in a million years I'd have the first pick. I've never won anything in my life, except for the love of the Rebecca. So the first pick, you talked about how you changed the rules up. The first pick I wanted to do was myself and Rebecca as the ultimate Disney couple. We met at Disneyland, and we started life in place, and there is no finer couple in the world, especially a finer princess. But you said they had to be fictional. And I am indeed fact. So occasionally fun.
But are you fun?
I am occasionally fun. So I am going to pick the most obvious one, the best one, the one alone that can make me the winner here. And that is Carl and Ellie from Up.
Wow. I like that the pick was put up on the board before Doobie actually made it, and that was not right. Carl and Ellie from Up is the first pick. All right. I should mention, too, by the way, so you see this board here. We're going to have this go up on our Twitter account, and everybody can vote on who they think picked the best Disney couples. So Doobie, first pick, Carl and Ellie from Up.
It's a beautiful story told in about 2 minutes, but it touches everyone, and it has the ups and the downs that are a part of every marriage. It hits home in some places, and I'm going to cry right now if I don't stop. So.
It's a very good pick. I'll admit it was not on my list, but it really, really, really should have been.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's a great pick. I think, Kyle, you're probably crazy for not having it on your list. But
oh, wait till you get to my honorable mentions. You'll really judge me then.
I'm excited. But yeah, no, Doobie, it's a great pick. I think maybe you should have tried to trade down a little bit there, because I feel like there's a clear first pick out there. And now they fall to me at number 2. I feel like I'm getting Joe Burrow with the second pick in the draft here. So, yeah, I mean, the best Disney couples. Kyle, you can go ahead and type it in now and go ahead and put it up just like you did for Yeah, I'm taking Mickey and Minnie Mouse. I mean, I didn't expect that to be there for me. Come on, you can thumbs down it all you want. You know you love Mickey and Minnie.
I had them on my list. I passed on them.
Sure, all right, it's fair. It's fair. If you listen, you got your guy and you're going to go with him. But Mickey and Minnie, not just the best Disney couple, but I mean, maybe the most iconic couple in pop culture history. Like, come on, it's right there. It's peanut butter and jelly, and it's Mickey and Minnie.
They are, first of all, I got to question Minnie sticking with this guy for nearly 100 years, and they've not even tied the knot. There is something to be said for this couple. It's not all positive, so I'm not even sure they are a couple. They live in separate houses, which I appreciate the traditional values, but
does it feel good to try and disparage Mickey and Minnie Mouse? How does that feel right now?
I'm not disparaging them. I'm just saying they may be the best Disney duo. They may be the best Disney male and female, but I'm not even sure they're a couple.
All right. Okay. Well, the people will decide. We've got two picks so far, Carl and Ellie, and then Mickey and Minnie, and we are going clockwise here, I guess. So, Mike, you are up next now.
Well, Doobie did take what would have been my first choice, so I'm going to say the one that would probably be most obvious for me, and say Han Solo and Princess Leia from the Star Wars franchise.
I always forget how to spell Leia. Can you remind me?
Leia.
That's what I had for the record. Just double check.
Okay.
Yeah, I was really curious to know if you were going to pick this one, because I did put them on my list initially, and then I was like, they're kind of a terrible couple, but they're so iconic, obviously. But it's like the line they're known for, "I love you, I know." It's very much like, oh, we're not a functional couple.
At least they're good.
But I feel like Han is really playing into his persona in that moment. And we don't really get to see their good years, because we missed that whole gap after Return of the Jedi where they're theoretically together for a while. And then by the time you get to Force Awakens, they're broken up. So we don't get to see them in the wedded bliss of being Mr. and Mrs. Solo. Yeah. What's up, Doobie?
I was just saying, we don't get to see them be the ideal parents raising this lovely
right. That worked out so well.
Yeah. Is there a comic or a novel or maybe anything that kind of fills that gap as to like their breakup and that whole time period for them?
Do you want a romance novel?
We haven't seen their breakup yet in the current canon. We've seen peaks at their time being married, raising young Ben Solo in a couple of the books, but they haven't covered the breakup itself. And if you go back to the old like Legends novel continuity, there's a bunch of books that took place after they got married, and they actually had 3 kids together in that timeline. So either one, I think they're pretty iconic as a Disney couple at this point.
I'm going to make the bold prediction that of all the 16 couples we're about to pick that are the iconic best Disney couples in history, this is the only one that divorced.
Well, I mean, it depends. How many of these shows and movies could get reboots?
And how much daytime TV Kyle is going to go to for his list.
Okay.
I don't think I have daytime TV, but I do have some questionable choices.
I forgot about soap operas.
I don't know. Becca's the one that watches General Hospital, not me.
Still?
Did she have any input on your list? Because I'd be really interested to hear about
that. Would be funny, but no, I don't think anyone wants to know.
Just can't cope without my soap.
Well, different kind of soap though for you, Doobie. Kyle, you get to share some of those questionable picks right here, because you are on the clock now with back-to-back picks.
All right. Well, I have my first one figured out. And as anyone who listens to Zacks of Life knows, most of the time for me, it's not about picking the best. It's about stealing picks from Mack.
Yeah, I knew
so. So my first pick is Spider-Man and MJ.
Yeah, that's a good one. There was another one actually that I thought you might try and steal from me, but no, this is obviously.
I could do that one too.
You could. You still have.
I asked Becca which one I should take, but I don't want to overly marvel it up.
So does this apply to all Spider-Mans and MJs, or is it just this specific Spider-Man and MJ?
Spiders, man.
I would leave that up to Kyle. Yes, Spiders Man. Actually, I've said this on Marvel Time before. That is actually a different character, Spiders Man. It is a man made entirely out of spiders. So
like a million ants.
Wow.
From Rick and Morty.
Gotcha. Okay. But I would leave that up to Kyle. Which version of this couple is he taking? And I would guess the MCU version. Just
yeah. I mean, I think I get all of them, and I specifically put MJ so that I could get this one too. So
right, smart. Yep. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, this is a good pick. I mean, Peter Parker and Mary Jane or MJ. Again, like not quite on the level of Mickey and Minnie, I think, but as you know, iconic couples go, they're on the list for sure. So I definitely like this one.
Okay, well, I figured out what my second one's going to be, so let me just type it in while I speak here. I didn't think, as I admitted, I didn't think of Carl and Ellie, but I did think of a different Pixar couple. So I'm going to take Wally and Eve.
Mm.
Oh, talk about overrated.
Oh, well, I got another pick in here that I know is going to make you mad too. So,
yeah, somewhere Tony just screamed with joy with that Wally pick.
But at least, and especially because I didn't say Disney animated.
I did consider putting them on my list, but I'll admit I'm kind of sided with Doobie here in the Doobie versus Tony debate on this movie. It's not my favorite. It's good. I think it's a good movie. It's just, as far as Pixar films go, it's not that high on my list. So these two didn't make my list. Anybody else?
I don't think they're getting a divorce because they're robots.
Right.
I always do these by searching top Disney couples or whatever, and this was always on there, and I just shook my head every time. First of all, they have no heart. Literally, they have no heart. How can they be in love when they have no heart? If anyone that's my Facebook friend may have just seen a post I made about replica.ai, where you get to have that's what this is here. This is not legit, and this scares me. So no, it's not on my list.
Have you not seen Heart Beeps starring Andy Kaufman?
I have, actually, in theaters. I'm that old.
There may not be heart, but there is a spark between them. So there's that. And yes, I did see that Facebook post too, and it was very scary. Yeah, no, I like the pick, just not one that was on my list. Mike, did you have them on your list?
I did have Wally and Eve on my list. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's fair. It's a good pick, but Mike, you are back up now. So now with another one getting taken from your list here, where are you going next?
I think I'm gonna have the first sort of outside the box one here, because these are not central main characters from their franchise, but I'm going to say Gonzo and Camilla, the chicken from the Muppet.
I love it. I had a similar couple, I'll say. I put them on my list, and as Jess was helping me to assemble my list, she said, you should go with Gonzo and the chicken. Yeah, I like it. You were not the only one to think of that.
But you should have been.
You know, it's just against all odds. Their love defies the odds. That's what I love about them.
I thought about putting a Muppet couple on here, not this one.
Not that one, right? Yeah, I would have. There it is. There's that famous iconic couple right there, Gonzo and Camilla.
You know, now that I see it, hey, you win, Mike. You win.
Yeah, I like it. I do love that Gonzo has been drafted for the first time in probably anything ever.
I love Justin's comment there. That wasn't on my list at all, and that's a really good one. I'm thinking about stealing that now.
That was on my list. It wasn't on my official list, but it came across my mind.
It's something I didn't really think about, that anyone participating can totally skew the draft at any moment, just throw ideas out there that we might have forgotten about. Okay, so we're back to me for my second pick now. And Kyle did snipe the one that I wanted with my next pick, but I like Mike, I gotta go to the Marvel, my specialty here, which I would have done with my first pick had Doobie not left the obvious 101 on the board for the second pick. But so I'm going to go to Marvel, and I'm going to take the one that I thought Kyle would have taken from me, and that's Captain America and Peggy Carter. I already had it ready to go, clearly.
Yep.
Yeah, Steve Rogers and Peggy. I mean, Steve went back in time to live out his life with Peggy. It's one of the best, like, final romantic scenes to a movie that was not a romantic movie by any means. So it's people are going to love this couple for a long time, I think.
I can't argue with that one. That's a beautiful one, and what they did for each other. It's a good one.
And well,
I'm not even going to mention that he kissed her niece, but it's okay. I'm not going to bring it up.
Whenever I see her now, I think of Be Right Back, that episode of Black Mirror. And so I'm picturing this isn't a real Captain America. This is just like an AI facsimile created by Replica.ai, and she'll eventually kill him off. But
you've got some serious issues with AI right now, I think. I'm imagining a new Laughing Place video series coming on Doobie Debates AI. First of all, I know I made a great pick when even Doobie has nothing negative to say about it. Maybe we could find Tony and he can jump on and disparage this pick in some way. But this is.
Well, now I feel like I need to bring it up that, just mouthing with the power broker, ruining everything.
How dare you? She was not the power broker at the time.
Maybe she was. What do you know?
Remember how they met when she just kind of touched his chest? Wasn't that so beautiful? That's how Rebecca and I met too.
That's.
Walked up to me and went,
I'm not. What if showed us they were meant to be?
Where'd you come from?
Perfect cameo there from Rebecca, who, by the way, is producing all of this for us and is the magic behind the scenes here. So thank you for that. So yeah, we're back to you now, Doobie, and you've got back-to-back picks.
All right. So
Carl and Ellie, who are you adding?
You, Mr. Joe Burrow, will probably say I should trade down with this pick, but it's such a good pick. I don't even want to take a chance here. So we're going back to 1961. We're going to the Parent Trap. We're going Mitch and Maggie. The couple so good that their kids did everything to make sure they got back together. Come on, Mitch and Maggie. There they are.
Let's get together. Yeah.
Brian Keith, Maureen O'Hara.
I like it.
Unlike Han and Leia, they did know how to raise children, apparently. Their girls turned out great. So that's who I'm
You don't know what happened 25 years later or whatever.
You don't.
One of them might have murdered their dad.
Those girls slayed.
I know how Haley Mills turned out. She turned out just fine. Hey, that's cool.
There was our second round picks there.
So looking at this, I'm going to say Mack wins the second round.
I'll take it. Although Gonzo and Camilla might swing the polls, we'll see how that impacts the vote. But okay, so I like it. It's a strong finish to the second round with that pick. That's not one I had on my list. Oh, there's a question for you, Doobie, with your pick. I think you did say 61, though, right?
Definitely 61. I don't even know who the parents were in the later one, but I know who the child was, and I'm not a big fan. So wait, who was that? That wasn't Lindsay Lohan. Who was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't like Lindsay.
She's in a new Super Bowl commercial for Planet Fitness.
Really? Oh, maybe
yeah.
I'll change my mind on her. So.
Now, I want to ask real quick before your next pick, Doobie. Mike and Kyle, did either of you have that couple on your list? Yeah. Definitely could have waited on that one a little bit, but still, I don't disagree. It is a good pick.
Thank you very much. You're gonna love my next one.
All right.
So it is the classic tale of the jock and the singer, actress, whatever.
Mathematician.
Mathematician.
Yeah, she's like the academic person.
Have I seen this movie? Okay, the classic tale of the jock and the mathematician who get together and sing random songs with a bunch of background characters in a movie that, if you were around for the time, absolutely dominated everything. This movie was everything, and it's because of Troy and Gabriella. There they are, my pick from High School Musical in round 3.
I've never seen this movie, but they were on my list just because they're a very pretty couple. I think Zac Efron is not so much with his haircut, but since looking great.
For sure. And this movie not only got 2 sequels, it got High School Musical, the series, which has its own set of specials and stuff on Disney Plus. This is as iconic as Mickey and Minnie's marriage, which is more iconic because that doesn't exist.
I want to point out that this is the second time in Drafting Place history, which I think this is only the 4th episode, so this is impressive, that Doobie has managed to grab High School Musical when it was like not really on most other people's radar, drafting it first as one of the best Disney sports movies, and now for the best couple. So
That's right. It is.
Okay, I mean, I like Kyle. I have not seen, and probably like Doobie, I have not seen this movie.
I have seen this movie several times. I just am too old to remember things. Mike C, have you seen this movie?
I have not seen any of the High School's musical. Is that
We have a new thing. Wow. That is shameful, guys. I'm sorry. It really is.
Yeah.
Which one would you recommend?
I am shocked. How is that possible? Wow.
You know what? Like Kyle too. I am also a Zac Efron fan. I think he's great, but this was kind of before that time.
So you
17
start with
again.
the first one, Mike. Mike said, "Where do I start?" You start with the first one so you don't get lost, and then you go to High School Musical 3 because that was a theatrical release, so it had kind of the bigger budget. You can skip 2.
I remember running it as a projectionist. I ran High School Musical 3. Never watched it.
We went to see it. We were very happy to see it.
Did you see that at ArcLight Hollywood?
No.
Okay.
If there was a High School Musical song that would tell us what we should do in regards to watching the Super Bowl, is there a
What you got in mind, Kyle?
bet on it?
I thought we were all bonding together to root for the Bengals. I thought you were saying we're all in this together, but
I still haven't 100% decided who I'm rooting for.
Okay, well, moving on from that topic then. So that was Doobie's first pick in the 3rd round. I am back up with my 3rd pick, and I'm kind of torn. There's a lot of names still left on my list, but since there was such an emphasis put on the importance of marriage being, what defines a couple as being so great, I figure I'm going to go for the longest running marriage on television, and I'm going to take Homer and Marge Simpson.
Oh, that's so good. And I can't.
I thought of that, but I don't think they're a great couple. I mean, they're better than Peter and Lois. But
I will admit, I'm rewatching Family Guy right now, and I did think of Peter and Lois for a second. I was like, no, that's a terrible pick. They do not belong in this draft at all. But Homer and Marge, they always find a way to work things out. So, and
is there a watermark on that wallpaper? Sorry.
They have like 10 different origin stories, so that's fun.
Yeah, there's a lot.
They've grown up in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s.
For anyone that's actually been married longer than a decade, that's just me. This is a great marriage, and it should not be. Who was it? Kyle said they're not that good a couple. They are a great couple. They have 3 children that are somehow still alive, and
still children.
I guess they don't raise good children. They have in-laws that are impossible to live with, and yet they still manage to love each other. They're a good couple. Yeah.
So there you go. You said the Mickey and Minnie one wasn't great because they're not married. So now I got the long-time married couple. So
yes. Good choice. Good choice.
Racking up votes here, I think. Mike, we are back to you now for your 3rd pick. After Gonzo and Camilla, how do you follow that up?
So I did have Homer and Marge on my list, and was considering putting them at this choice, but was actually leaning further toward this next selection, which is continuing my theme of kind of mismatched, unlikely pairings, and proof that humor is one of the more important factors in attraction Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Now, I want to ask you, did you have them on your list prior to, let me get the timestamp on this one, 8:44 p.m. Eastern time? Were they already on your list before that?
You'll have to ask Rebecca, who I sent my list to this morning. But yes, I have not even looked at the comments at all, if that's what you're referring to.
Good thing, because this latest one's a doozy.
Yeah, that's a great pick. And that's another one that's like, you know, people know probably more Jessica Rabbit than Roger Rabbit, but yeah, it's I like it.
If you can believe it.
One.
Thank you.
I want to know how much she vetted which photo she had to, how many photos she had to go through. Be like, no, not that one. No, not that one.
I love that pick. Any couple that plays patty cake together, she makes me laugh. That's a great pick. And as a part of a couple where one of us is clearly, you know, I can relate.
Exactly. This is how I feel. Yeah. Like, what do I have? I'm the Roger Rabbit in this situation.
Yeah.
I'm the
the Roger Rabbit in our lives.
Wait,
admission, I had forgotten to pull the Roger Rabbit Jessica picture, so I was desperately searching for what is this moment.
She's covering for Mike not adding it to his list.
No, it's definitely on there.
I already had it. I didn't read the comment.
Hey, listen, even if it was just from the comment, you're just playing the game, and you know how to win. You know you have a guaranteed vote there from Justin as soon as this poll goes up.
Great.
Okay, so Kyle, we are back to you now with your third and then fourth pick to wrap up your draft.
I know, and it's so hard because I have so few of mine have been picked.
Yeah.
I am going to. Oh man, this is very hard for no reason.
Listen, I'll stall for you a little bit too. I have so many names on my list and only one pick left, and I'm looking at this like I hope you guys take some off of my list to make my decision easier because this is so difficult right now.
No,
I'm also trying to go for like company diversity, like cover all the bases, but I only have 4 picks, so I can't do all that. But for this one, you know what? We'll go with a current show that's ending its run this year. I'm going to take Dre and Rainbow from Blackish.
Oh, okay. I like it. I have not watched Blackish yet, but I believe they just added. Was it that they just added the most recent season, or they just added all of Blackish to Disney Plus? Right. So
they did add something to Disney Plus. I haven't looked at how much of the library it is.
That was one of those things. I saw the announcement. I was like, I should watch that show, and now that might be on my list to binge pretty soon. I like it. Anybody else watch Blackish?
I watched the first couple of seasons of Blackish. They are a good couple. That's a good choice for a good couple. No argument.
I have not seen Blackish. Sorry.
It's okay.
Right,
and then for my last,
so you're not possibly going to see all of it, unless you're Benji, because that's seemingly the case.
For my last pick, as I hop to another part of the company, I when I made my list, I realized that a lot of these were, some of them were tragic love stories. And I think that those deserve to be recognized as well. So I'm going to take Christian and Satine from Moulin Rouge, the 20th Century Studios film.
You're all over the place.
I knew Kyle asked me this morning, like we're going to, this includes Disney and Fox and all of their, everything. And I was like, oh, he's going deep. He's going for, 20th century. He's going to get like some Fox Searchlight movies out there and just going to go way out there.
Kyle, are these the right figures in this film?
That's them.
Awesome. Yep.
Okay. That's Elephant Love Medley, I think. So that's like the best scene in the movie.
I will admit I have never seen this movie.
It's good. You should see it. I'll let you borrow the DVD. It's probably on Hulu or something. I don't know.
What?
DVD. The 2-disc DVD collector's edition.
What, do you have to like flip it halfway through or something?
You have to change the disc if you want to see the special features.
That sounds good, Kyle. I will come meet you in 2006 and pick that up.
I'll show you the like a virgin number, and then that'll sell you, I'm sure.
Now, I am curious because when this goes up, when the results of this draft go up for the poll, I'm curious to see how many people recognize Christian and Satine.
We're gonna put parentheses with the franchise, like I did when I sent my picks to Rebecca in the first place.
See, I like I like that Kyle has to add that in now with this pick.
Which one's Christian and which one's Satine?
Christian is Ewan McGregor, and Satine is wow, I just lost her name.
Wait a minute. So
Nicole Kidman.
Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars cartoon, his girlfriend that he's like got an unrequited relationship with is named Satine, and they're both Ewan McGregor characters, though he's not voicing the character in the Clone Wars. But that's a bizarre connection.
Wow.
I honestly, I hesitated for a second when Kyle said Satine, and I was like, wait, what is this pick? Yeah, that is interesting.
I recognize the whole kid profile, but not you, and no one bit.
All right, so Kyle has finished up his draft now. So let's continue on with the fourth round. Mike, you get to finish up yours with your fourth pick here.
My fourth pick is also a recent Disney acquisition with the recent Fox merger, the 21st Century Fox acquisition. And it's a couple that I did not want to be a couple for a long time. And I eventually gave in to the idea. And that's Fox Mulder and Dana Scully from the X-Files.
Somewhere my wife is smiling.
That's an interesting one. I hadn't even considered the X-Files. Yeah, definitely was not on my list, but I like it. That's probably going to win some fans over. Definitely a different pick.
She's trippy. So what is she? Irish, Scottish? One of those two. She has a perfect accent, American in that one, like literally perfect, because she just grew up speaking both, and it's trippy. I watched her as a lead in some BBC thing, and it was so weird to hear her there. And this
I think that her current accent is like recently acquired from having lived in Europe for like a decade or something after the X-Files, but she was yeah. I think that was her natural accent on the X-Files, as far as I know.
I totally agree with Justin here. It's why I didn't think of it at all. It's just the X-Files is so not a Disney thing, and that's coming from somebody who is going to be covering the UFC pay-per-view tomorrow night because it's on ESPN Plus. So there you go.
And you drafted The Simpsons.
Yeah, there you go too, and considered Family Guy.
We could have taken Brad and Janet from Rocky Horror. If it's another one we got in the acquisition. So
there's so many. The Disney umbrella is just so huge at this point. All right, so man, you guys did not help me by narrowing down my list at all. I still have so many that I can choose from, and I feel like you guys have gone out there with sort of your picks a little bit and not stuck to the most iconic Disney ones. There's so many.
Not trying to win.
Listen, if this is going to be a 2-horse race between me and Doobie, that's fine. No, I will. I think I am going to follow you a little bit. I'm going to stick to the TV side of things. I think. Oh man, there's still so many though. Oh, this is difficult. Okay, I'm going to go to TV. We're going to go to ABC. But was actually a show that was produced by Fox and confused me for a long time as to why it wasn't on Hulu until recently. Modern Family is one of my favorite shows of all time, and I will take Phil and Claire Dunphy. Again, long-running TV marriage, and probably the funniest couple that's been drafted so far. Maybe Gonzo and Camilla ahead of them, but aside from that, Modern Family is fantastic. I don't
know if Claire has an E on it, but it's going to now.
I believe it does. I believe it's
okay.
With an E at the end.
I did not have them on my list, but I did have Cam and Mitchell. So
I considered swapping them out for Cam and Mitchell, but I felt like Phil and Claire were the more recognizable name if I put Dunphy on there as opposed to Bridget. But...
Very true.
So yeah, I mean, just one of the funniest shows of all time. I just got done rewatching it for like the third time, and it's so good. And on Hulu, all of it. So recommend checking it out if you haven't.
I like this pick. My problem with it, why I couldn't even consider it, is I'm still angry that she left Jack in Lost because he saved her life and everything, and they seemed like a really good couple. And then I would never leave someone that saved my life. And maybe.
But he was growing so distant. He became obsessed with his work. He kissed that Italian lady who had her father get the spinal surgery or whatever.
Every step she takes, she needs to thank that man. And instead, she's with Phil Dunphy, a guy who would like cut off his hand if he tried to do surgery. So no, that's my problem with
her. So can I make a confession real quick while we're on this topic?
Uh-oh.
I've never watched Lost.
Oh, no.
I was going through all the couples in Lost for this, and I was like, none of these are healthy, good couples.
My next
Nicole
point
and Paolo, is that the name?
Yeah,
after
Paolo
Doobie said that, his last pick better be a couple from Lost now.
The closest I came was Sun and Jin, and I was like, they're kind of boring.
Rose and her guy.
Rose and Bernard would have been great. If I had thought of Rose and Bernard, I probably would have put it on my my short list here. Yeah.
Well, I'll just say before we let Doobie wrap up this draft here, the reason I haven't gone back to watch all of Lost is because I had the ending spoiled for me, and I don't want to get into it now.
Was it spoiled by This Is 40?
No, it was spoiled just by normal conversation, and then eventually This Is 40.
It's not an ending that can be spoiled.
Yeah, I was like, how would you spoil? There's no way to boil down that ending in any way that would be spoilerish to somebody who didn't know the show already. Yeah.
All right, well that's fair. Maybe okay. You're selling me on it a little bit. Maybe I will check it out.
I also don't like this last season, so it's fine.
Watch the pilot, you'll get hooked, and then we'll tell you how to properly go through the rest of it without getting too bored.
Okay, all right. Fair.
Lost is one of Becca's favorite shows, but whenever we talk about it, like I don't know a ton about it, so I just throw out like the one thing I know. I'm like, Hurley's the protector of the island at the end. That's all I got.
There's a spoiler.
Which is funny because as of right now, that means absolutely nothing to me. So,
I know Hurley because he was on a Weezer album.
Yes, he is the name of a Weezer album.
Oh.
All right. Well, before we go into any other crazy tangents, Doobie, which Lost couple are you picking for your last pick here?
So it never, I looked Star Wars, I looked Marvel. It never even occurred to me to go that far off the wall. ABC. I thought of Once Upon a Time, but Lost didn't occur to me. Family Guy, Simpsons didn't occur to me. Moulin Rouge didn't occur to me. But now that you mentioned Moulin Rouge, I'm thinking other Fox movies, and I'm really strongly considering going with John and Holly McClane from the best movie of all time, Die Hard. And then we would have a second couple that ended in divorce. But I'm going to go traditional here. Bring this, I started this website because I love Disney. So I think I'm going to pick a Disney show, a Disney movie to end this. I am going to say Snow White and her prince, who shall remain nameless.
Wrong choice. Choose guy without name.
Any good husband, he is just in the background. Love came easy. She saw him. She fell in love again, just like my wife down there. Love at first sight. And
did she really have a choice?
And again, he saved her life, so she better not leave him. Unlike some people.
Sorry.
Every time that wallpaper comes up, I try to read what the watermark.
Is there a watermark? I'm sorry. I very much tried to pick one without a watermark and failed. So there is Snow White and the Prince. They did a great job raising their 7 children. So this is my pick.
Can we appreciate Kyle's artistry here with the ticker for a second? Your pick was Snow White and the artist formerly known as Prince.
That's impressive.
I don't have the symbol on my keyboard.
I am very disturbed by. Oh man, I'm sorry, Rebecca. I told you I was switching, and I meant to, but that's okay. I'll stick with Snow White. I almost switched to I meant to switch to Beauty and the Beast, but I'm comfortable with this pick.
All right, so I was waiting to see if anybody would pick, and we're done now, so we can kind of discuss anything else that was left out on our boards. But Belle and the Beast, I was gonna say I was ready to tear down that pick by saying not usually a mark of a good couple when one of them locks another one in a cell.
Probably.
Probably.
How do you know? You don't know what makes them
That's
happy.
not a
Don't
request.
judge.
Let's not go
judge.
down that road. Yeah, that is the final pick. What else did we have? Anybody have any honorable mentions? I'm sure if you're like me, there are a bunch of names still on your list.
I want to
I have
know.
a pretty sizable list still.
I'll go one real quick. I don't think we've ever done one of these where I didn't choose a Scarlett Johansson for obvious reasons. But Rebecca's here today, so I did not choose Black Widow and Hawkeye, but they are a great couple.
They're also not a romantic couple.
So.
Wait, I thought they were.
No, you could have gone
Banner.
Black Widow and
I'm
Hulk.
sorry. I realize Hawkeye's married. I'm going to venture and say they're a romantic couple.
That's, again, probably not a path we want to go down. But yeah, there were options with Black Widow there for you, just not the right one.
In the MCU,
any other names on your list, Doobie?
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast, of course. I went so traditional. Lady and the Tramp, which
Lady and the Tramp was also on my list. Yeah,
they're dogs, but that's okay. Tarzan and Jane, Esmeralda and Phoebus from Hunchback, or a better, as I was doing research, they're a better couple than I remembered. Very traditional.
Yeah, Kyle, what about you?
I had Wesley and Buttercup from Princess Bride.
Oh yeah.
Fry and Leela from Futurama.
I had that one on my list.
I thought Mike was going to pick recent Futurama news. I thought for sure.
I have Erica and Jeff from the Goldbergs.
Okay.
I had Bob and Linda Belcher.
I had them also.
Tiana and Naveen.
Mm-hmm.
Luke and Mara Jade.
Ooh, good one.
Because ones that get snapped out of existence for canon wise is always fun. Eugene and Rapunzel for reasons that are obvious. And then Ben and Lindsay from Fever Pitch because I like Drew Barrymore.
Jimmy Fallon, not so much.
Yeah,
I like Jimmy Fallon okay too, but that was the Fox movie that Drew Barrymore was in and that I like.
Mike, what about you?
All right, the ones that have not been mentioned: Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl. Mm-hmm. Kermit and Piggy were my backup Muppets choices. Really outside the box, I went with the narrator and Marla Singer from Fight Club. Herman Bloom and Miss Cross from Rushmore. And a Marvel one I had was Tony Stark and Pepper Potts. And then a DuckTales one, Scrooge McDuck and Goldie O'Gilt.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I had Jack and Sally as well from Nightmare. Yeah, that was my other one that didn't get
picked. That's one that somehow slipped my mind. Jack and Sally is a great pick.
That one showed up on a lot of Disney couples lists I looked at. There's one more. A lot of people don't remember this show was produced by Disney, even though it was on another network back before Disney started acquiring everything. But Blanche Devereaux and All the Men in Miami, I think would have been a good choice.
I mean, it is a better choice than Dorothy and Stan.
They divorced.
And then got back together and then broke up and then got back together. And then I feel like watching they're on Hallmark Channel. And whenever I turn it on, they're breaking up with Stan again.
And now they're all dead. Is Stan dead too?
Probably.
Some of the other ones, one that I can't believe hasn't been mentioned at all yet is Aladdin and Jasmine. I thought of all the Disney princesses, that's the couple that I thought was like, that's the go-to. This is another one on my list. Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I had Lady and the Tramp because mostly there aren't many couples that are just the title of their movie. It's Lady and the Tramp.
Everybody wants to be a tramp.
Corey and Topanga from Boy Meets World.
That's a really good one. I would have chosen that if I had thought of it, and I'm very mad that I didn't.
Definitely considered that with my last pick, and I was 100% ready to go Topanga, but didn't do that. I had Donald and Daisy on my list, but we got so much hate for Mickey and Minnie from Doobie that I figured Donald and Daisy just didn't stand a chance.
I like Donald and Daisy.
Max and Roxanne from a Goofy movie, just because that's one of my all-time favorite Disney movies. Kermit and Miss Piggy, of course, and then the other Marvel one that I wanted to go with, but would not have been recognized by almost anyone watching, is Fitzsimmons from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They had, in a show that was mediocre most of its run, they had one of the best character or couple arcs I think, in anything I've ever watched. So they were definitely in consideration for me.
I love that choice. I did watch the first few seasons of that, and I love that Fitzsimmons choice. Give you that one.
That was one of Jess's first picks on when we did Best Marvel Couples, huh?
And there's a reason they were on my list again this time. So
because she told you to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she gave me the idea for Fitzsimmons. I mean, it's a good pick for anybody that's watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So all 12 of us out there, I think, somehow including Doobie, which really surprises me.
Did that show ever end? Is it still going?
It did, yeah. Benji and I actually recapped the final season a couple of years ago now, I guess.
It ended right after Pirates 2.
Right after Pirates 2?
It's a stupid LP joke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
which is redundant.
All right. Well,
wait. Before we go, I tried hard to do Star Wars couples, and all I saw was Han and Leia. Are there others, Mike?
Well, Anakin and Padme, nobody mentioned, but who wants to pick them?
I was going to see if I could get anyone to be interested in Anakin and Padme. Like Beauty and the Beast, probably not a good sign for a couple if you kill the other one.
She died of sadness or something like that. So.
Sadness inflicted by
being choked by your I guess boyfriend. I don't know what you want to call them.
He's worse than
they were married. Oh, they were married at that point.
Oh, that's right. They were married. Yeah, their secret wedding. So yeah,
there was
it's the only way for it to end worse than divorce is murder, I guess. But
much worse, by the way.
Take all the 2020s.
There was a couple in one of the Mandalorians, some aliens with like some babies or something. That was a nice
Frog Lady. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Frog Lady and Frog Man.
That
would have been a good choice.
Yeah.
That would have been really funny to see on the list at the end. Just why did Doobie draft Frog Lady and Frog Man?
So did she not die of sadness? Was she killed by his anger?
I think the line is she died of broken heart.
Yeah.
So,
but was that literal? Like Anakin broke her heart?
No, she was alive when she delivered her children. We
could just get Pizza Slicer in there to fix that right up.
Thank you, Rebecca.
That is a sign of a great producer right there, to go out and find Frogman and Frogwoman.
They're a beautiful couple. They honestly are a beautiful couple. They really are.
No, I agree. It just would have been really funny to see that on the poll at the end.
20 of the most romantic Star Wars.
It actually is one of the 20 most romantic quotes in the StarWars.com article this week. So I couldn't help but share it because I just found it. And by the way, the quote is just the quotes and then little dots because they don't, really actually say anything. So there you go.
That is awesome.
All right.
Yeah, so it is his anger. I mean,
no, but still. Palpatine is lying to him in that moment. That's not really what happened.
Palpatine wouldn't lie.
No, he's a stand-up guy, except in the last movie, I guess. I don't think he can stand up on his own at that point. So, anything else before we wrap things up?
Vote for me.
When do we find out who won?
Well, we're going to put this up on the Laughing Place Twitter account, so be sure to follow us at laughing_place on Twitter, and you'll see this poll go up shortly, and you can vote. What do you think? We'll put it up for, I guess, 2 days. Should be give people the weekend to vote and decide that I won this draft handily. Just give them enough time. But yes, keep an eye out for that. Doobie, do you have another show you would like to play as you see our results go by here for the draft?
Yeah, as you know, I host the one of the top rated shows here on the Laughing Place Omni Media Networks, and that would be Disney Trivia Live with my son Gideon. And tomorrow we have our next episode, which will be at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, 10:30 Eastern. And we will be doing two contests. The first one will be DCA Old School. That's a good name for it. What I actually called it was just DCA the early years. In our second contest will be something Marvel. and we will have, I think it's called the Marvel Menagerie, something like that. We're going to have a guest host. It's not Mack, because Mack has to watch people beat each other in the head. So we're going to have Nick's daughter, Elle.
Head, body, and limbs. It's not just the head.
Nick's daughter, Elle, is going to be with myself and Gideon and usually Rebecca, our producer off camera. And we're going to be doing Disney Trivia Live. We're also going to do, after the main two, we're going to do a little after show, as we often do, and we'll be testing out a new type of question. So if you want to be the first chance to see a new type of question on Disney Trivia Live, now that I've written my own program, now the fun begins. Come check it out tomorrow.
So is this Elle's second time co-hosting?
I think she and Nick together have done it maybe 3 times.
Okay, so 3 more than me.
Yeah, but I think it's been Nick with Elle. This is Elle. I don't know if Nick's even going to be there. Would you like to co-host, Kyle? You would?
Yes, I wrote a quiz for you.
I know, but it wasn't Disney.
I know. You have non-Disney quizzes. We've done Thomas like 3 times.
Got to keep the boy happy. We'll get you on. What was the quiz you wrote again?
Vegas attractions, past and present.
Okay. Next Saturday.
There are Disney and theme park connections in there.
They're true. That's very true. That's very true. And I'm a big fan of Vegas. So, yeah. And then what's your date, Mike? April?
Give me a moment.
Mike Celestino.
I think I said April 30th because
demand.
May the 4th and May the 3rd are both occupied for me personally. So not personally, for work stuff. So yeah.
Busy on those days. That's so weird.
Yeah.
So,
let's do April 30th. Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to have Mike or if he's going to just be our booking agent.
Honestly, I don't know either.
Looking forward to that. So anyway, that's all I got to promote.
Well, I'm still intrigued by the idea of a new type of question. I can't even come up with in my head what other possible type of question is there.
We've got many coming up, but this is the first.
I'm excited. I will have to pop in between UFC fights to at least say hi tomorrow night.
What's the big fight tomorrow?
Tomorrow night we have a middleweight championship fight, Israel Adesanya against Robert Whittaker. It'll be really fun.
And so you cover the whole night though, right? So do you like write up each one as it happens and post it?
Yeah, well, I do. Our preview is up on laughingplace.com right now. So you can check out the 3 big fights, the main event, and the one just before it. Which, by the way, Doobie, your favorite fighter, is also fighting tomorrow night, Tai Tuivasa, the creator of the shoey. After he wins his fights, he drinks a beer out of the shoe. So, yes, what I'll do is I sort of summarize the preliminary fights and then some of the 2 other main card fights, and then go into more detail with the 3 fights that I previewed as well. So
I love
keep
that
an eye out for
sports reporting on LP. Did not see that coming 20 plus years ago.
Yeah. And on a personal note, real quick too, that honestly is an absolute dream come true for me too. Like every aspect of this job is like, if college Mack could have designed his perfect job, just kind of pieced together. I did an independent study where I did this exact thing in college where I just recapped UFC events. So it kind of worked very well for me.
You are a college trained UFC event recapper.
Sure, we can go with that. But yeah, so that'll be it. And then what's everyone doing for the Super Bowl on Sunday? Anyone got some big plans?
I'm going to sit in bed, not watch television, and just occasionally refresh and pray for you.
I'll definitely be watching the game intently. I just don't know if it's going to be at home or in the midst of a huge party. Rebecca says she thinks we are going to the CEO's house. So
there you go.
Yes, he has us over to his palatial estate. He has some of his closest employees to his palatial estate for a Super Bowl party. Did you guys get invited?
Okay. I don't know that I was invited specifically to that, but I was invited to come out and cover some of the Super Bowl stuff happening at Disneyland, and decided that it's for the best for everyone if I just lock myself in my apartment and watch this, with the only thing that's allowed to see me while I watch Bengals being this important is my wife. It's not a pretty sight, so I probably shouldn't be in public for this.
I would love. I understand you not wanting to be in public, but if there's any way, just to put a camera on you and just produce a little highlight reel, that's okay to release when the Bengals win. That would be so fun.
Jess is giving a thumbs up right now, so there might be some candid videos that we will make sure are suitable for work. Because a lot of it won't be. But yeah, so Mike, and we know you're going to be at Disneyland on Sunday.
Yeah,
so.
I have one of those sip and savor cards for the Lunar New Year celebration this year, and that's the last day you can use them. So my wife and I are going to go down, and we were kind of crossing our fingers that the crowds wouldn't be as bad because of the big game, but Doobie says that's a fallacy. Well,
it's exciting. I'm honestly slightly envious of you because my stomach has been in knots for 2 weeks. I would like to just be casually eating food in Disneyland instead. But yeah, that's going to do it for us as we continue to ramble our nonsense. Our draft ended about 15 minutes ago. So
I'm not waving by. I have one more question.
Okay.
So, for those that don't know, Mack is the world's biggest Bengals fan. He's not just wearing this. He's not just a bandwagoner. Will you even be able to sleep tomorrow night?
Yeah, probably.
I'm too excited to sleep.
It's going to be the night after the game that's going to be difficult to sleep, regardless of outcome, probably. So.
And if you lose, are you calling in Monday?
No, I'll be good to go.
And
it's honestly, it would be more of a problem if the Bengals win. To be honest.
Well, that's fair. If you lose, is it okay to pick on you, or is it better just to let you get through this?
It depends on the specifics of said picking.
If they spike the ball with no time left, is that?
You won't hear from me if that's the case, so don't worry about it.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
All right. Well, I can feel that Rebecca would be waving us off at this point.
Are you going to mock me if Paul Thomas Anderson doesn't win Best Director this year?
Only if he gets beat by Robert Rodriguez.
I'll have his movie on.
All right. I think that's going to do it for us. Thanks, everyone.